Of Wauconda for Wauconda. Here we are again at a village board meeting. It is election night. It was exciting to drive past the polling places and see that the parking lots are still packed. So hopefully our little experiment in um, community involvement is working. Wauconda seems to be coming out in throngs to vote. So tonight, hopefully we're going to see the mayor and hopefully we're going to see his appointee for the new trustee. So I'm going to turn the camera to the dais and we'll see the mayor and the trustees come in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us. I don't want to block Lincoln. I want Lincoln to make it on the camera. It is live streaming. You can't see us, but I'm standing here talking to former Mayor Mark Kanicki. Here, see? Here they are, guys. There you go. Oh, former Mayor Mark Kanicki. The once and future king. Alright, so it does look like it picks up my noise. We can move it like this. Let me just make sure I have it nailed before we get all the trustees. Yeah. We're streaming now. Okay. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Not going anywhere. I tried to come over here. I don't like to be It's that tired.
Meeting to order. Please stand. Bogart abstention. Bogart Ford March. Bogart Holt. Bogart Costello. Bogart Costello. Please join me in pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bogart Reform. Bogart About State. Bogart Ford March. Bogart Holt. Bogart dismissed. Thank you, gentlemen. First, we have Mr. Williams for the presentation of our comprehensive annual financial report. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Here. 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 I'm Ron Newman, I partner with Wauconda Newman. I'm here to present the audit for the 30th of 2014. First of all, I want to make sure I thank Doug and Lori from the finance department, their cooperation and professionalism towards the auditors is outstanding. For once again, to get through the audit in a timely fashion, well, constant steps in implementation of timing. It is very much appreciated from our standpoint to make sure that the approach that they have and the timing is actually very important for us. But not only go through two different documents, which we want to finance. In the management letter for this year, we have from last year's management letter. First term of comments is the Federal Consumer Board. There's a new statement number 67 and 68 combined that the village will be required to implement a April of 16. We've got 2 more years. This is an educational year for us to make sure all of our parents are aware. What this new standard is going to require is a change in how we disclose both your own around and your systems and unfunded liabilities. So it's not going to change the contribution that's going to be required into the issue different symptoms. It's not going to change how you budget, but it will change how you disclose the information in the audit. So that will change in 2 more years from those. The second turn of comments is related to the contingent funds and total budget. As a firm, any of our funds that have expenditures and budget, we just like to make sure that the board is aware of those and then currently we have these contingent funds together. The 2 comments carried over from last year is another one of those grants from the 61. It was required to be implemented in April of 14, so we could implement that in the current year. So that standard has been implemented in the Arrows. And then the second comment that is carried over from last year was the comment that we have had in your management letter for several years about your personnel file. We went through that with staff at great extent this year. They obviously have made great improvements and will continue to monitor how the personnel files are organized for that comment and will not be reviewed. From there, I'll make a couple of comments about the actual CAFR itself. The CAFR is divided into three sections. In the first section, which is your introductory section, the one page I want to point out is on page 8, which is Roman numeral, so it's VIII. Once again, the village submitted in April a 13 audit to the Government Finance Officers Association, and we've seen what is a very prestigious award in our audit world. So in April of 13 audit was submitted against the 2 levels of review. This is not review based on financial health, but what it does review is make sure all your standards are implemented and applied properly, and make sure that all the numbers fit and tied throughout the entire document. The village to be very proud to once again earn that award once the April 14 audit is approved by the board. It will also be submitted to the certificate program for their review. The second section of the audit starts right behind that page. The first pages that we point out are pages 1 and 2, which is on the water document and letterhead. All units of government by the Illinois State statutes require to have an auditor's opinion, and in our opinion is or unqualified, which is the highest level of opinion you can receive. And the basis of that opinion is that your financial statements are materially correct based on our auditing procedures. The next pages I want to point out are also in the financial section. So if you can flip past the MD&A, you just go to regular pages 10 and 11. So on pages 10 and 11 is what we call your income statement. This states your revenues and expenses for your 4 different governmental funds and discloses your revenues and your expenditures. And the bottom, third line up from the bottom, talks about changes in fund balance for the year. In the far right column, you can see that there was a decrease for the 4 different governmental funds of $1,137,000 for the year. I want to point out that right above that shows the transfer out line of $1.6 million. This was a budget change during the year, and I will point out where that transfer out went into your water sewer fund. But you can see that the $1.3 million is obviously affected by the transfer out of the $1.6 million that was budgeted in the current year. So then as you flip to page 15, that same exercise is done for your water and sewer fund. You can see the third line up from the bottom shows the increase in fund balance of $2.1 million, and then right above there is once again that transfer in from the general fund that shows the $1.6 million being transferred into the water sewer. So all in all, the health across the governmental and the proprietary funds is a positive when you take into account what happened with the transfer from out from the general into the water. And the last thing I'll point out in the CAFR is the third section. It was the statistical section, which comes at the very end of the audit. It's page 94 to 122. It shows a lot of training information that's required in the part of that certificate of achievement program, and it shows 10 years of history related to fund balances and revenues, a lot of good property tax information. And so the statistical section is very useful information to show you kind of where we were 10 years ago and it's been over the last 10 years related to a lot of different financial indicators. So from there, I'll take any questions about the management letter, the CAFR, or our audit process.
If you have to highlight some positive over the history,
Was that a board
do more if you want.
I was at a board meeting there, imagine someone told me to pick 2, so people are pumping me in. So I think the most important pages are the pages I pointed out. I guess we can go into those in a little more detail. On pages 10 and 11, what happens in a community entity with obviously, whether you're government or non-government, is you adopt a budget and you put parameters into place of your revenues and your expenditures, and you can try to live within that budget. And so one thing that happens is you have this fund structure that comes out in the audit process, and when you go through there, if you look at the third line up from the bottom, and you just take the general fund and you see a decrease of $862,000, to some level you would say, well, what did we budget, or was it planned for. But when you further dissect that, you can see the 1.6 million coming out of there. So if you move above that line and you see your excess of revenues over expenditures and it's $699,000 is positive, that's something that I think the board should be very aware of. That's where it starts. You made a planned budget amendment during the year to say, I want to take 1.6 million out of that general fund and take it over to that. So then if you do the same exercise for the motor fuel taxes and say there's a decrease of 280,000, I think one of the things you always need to do is step back and say, what was your budget? And take that exercise and say, what was the actual as opposed to what was budget? And then your debt service fund obviously is an increase of $5,000. And then the capital project fund is obviously $1. It is insignificant in the big picture. So that's one thing. So my second thing would be the idea of the same exercise for your water fund and digging a little deeper into it. I think it's very important to take that water fund and say what did we budget as opposed to what actually happened. So page 15 is a summary of that stuff. If you flip to the back, we go into a little more detail on the water fund. And it starts on page 71. So if you go to the back of the water fund and you take this page, which gives you more detail of what was the budget as opposed to what was actual, you can see in the revenue side, the budget is for 4.6 million and your actual is 4.6 million. So you're right there. Obviously, very good budget. If you look at your expenditures, you get the same idea, and obviously you can see if you don't budget for depreciation expenses, almost none of our funds budget for depreciation. And you work your way down the page, and you can see what actually happened as opposed to your budget, and it's very helpful. You're right in line with your expenditures, you're right in line with your revenues, and then you can see the big thing, obviously, is the transfer income. So that's two things. The third thing I'll go into a little more detail with is your pension fund. It's a very hot topic to do. You see it in the newspapers, you see it at the statewide level all the time. I get asked about this a lot. There's a lot of different information about pension funds and where they're at. If you take on page 18, I'll kind of start there and show you that your huge pension fund had an increase in fund balance for the year of $860,000. And then you can see down on page 18 that the funds that are set aside for the pension and the fiduciary concept of what this is just short of $10 million. So, piggyback that into page 61. So you can see where the pension fund was $10 million, a positive increase for the year of 860. If you look on page 61, we're going to go into a little more detail of the financial position of what the pension fund, where it stands today. And you can see the third column that's titled number 3, the funded ratio. And you can see you're at 55.36% funded. The statewide average is right there. You guys are right at what the statewide average is pension funds are funded at. So you're within the statewide average. If you look at the bottom part of that page, something that plays into the percent funded and plays into a lot of different things of what the pension fund is how much are you contributing as opposed to how much your actuary is telling you to contribute. And so for 6 years, you can see you're at 99%, 100, 100, 100, 100, and 91%. And so you can see those trends to move forward to make sure that whatever your actuary is telling you what the required contribution is, then the actual contributions from the village should obviously be in line with those that play into what percent funded you are as opposed to what they are.
And the flip side, anything to be concerned about?
I think I've been your auditor for many years, and I think it's a true testament to kind of where we're at today with this down finance. We all know that finance department's been short-staffed for a while. To have boards be able to continue to pull this stuff together and make sure that the time and the energy and the ability to make this a focus. We have a lot of clients that are going through staffing issues, and sometimes the audit gets put on the back burner. So it's a little bit of a positive, but I also think it's a little bit of an alarm too that position is still not filled. And it's a testament of what staff is doing to get it done. but I do think that it should be a something. No, I think anything that, if you go through an audit process, you can take management of it, and the idea is that you can have what we call significant deficiencies and material weaknesses, and if you get some of those in the management of it, that's when your alarm has to go on, and you don't have any of those in the management. So that's it. Thank you.
We have Mr. Stephen Speaker. Still recognize the gentleman from the front.
Thank you, Mayor. Stephen Schaefer, 2260 Trailside. Is there anything updated for the pit? I don't know if it's been talked about tonight or not, but any businesses that have been looked at, we haven't heard anything in a while. I know it's been worked on, but if there's something that anybody can comment on tonight, that would be appreciated. I like what Ian is looking about. Thank you. I talked to Brad briefly, but the water update last one was in August. So I know there's going on some packets. I know there's some stuff that's gone on now that's been going on. That would be great. And thank you all for the emails and responses that then always asking questions and here. But Mayor, with all the information that Doug has and you have at your disposal for the 911 center, the question is how, in a few months, what you said in the paper as far as this would still happen, what Doug was saying it could be a while longer. Everyone has the same information, it's 30 between 3 to 4 months versus what was originally in the paper. This is 12 is a lot. So there's different people with the same, two people with the same information coming up with a different timing. Can you care to comment on that now or for the meeting?
Actually, that was a question I addressed in the minutes message.
Right.
Just asked, and if any of our business timeline are affected.
Okay, so you're
The key is that we have the same information, but we also have the same topic. So any kind of timeline is conjecture.
okay, so all your conjecture, you say 3 to 4 months as opposed to 12 days. Okay, thank you.
Maria Whitefoot?
I think it's the agenda if it's needed when
Oh,
we
okay.
have to write it down if we want to ask questions later in the meeting.
Okay. All right, those are the only ones for the agenda items. Okay, approval of the agenda. There was a motion approved for approval of the agenda.
Yes.
Okay, bills to payment from 2015 to 2028, totaling $1,225,607.16. And
No, this is typically an item that we put on our consent agenda. Tonight, we only have one item for consent agenda, so we just put it on our old business. We'll just take that consent agenda on the item.
very good. Any questions on this? Okay, turn to the motion on approve item 1, bills to payment. Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, item B is the mayoral nomination for the vacant trustee position. So, just briefly, we've had a variety of individuals that applied for this position. The board and I have discussed this in some detail, and so I will throw into a motion that we take a discussion for mayoral nomination for trustee.
For discussion. From it. Thank you.
Roll call. Oh, no, sorry, I haven't do that. Discussion. Do we have any comments or to comment on the process or candidate or any kind of
I thought it was a very good candidate. Answered a lot of questions. We were in there for quite a while. Had a good array of questions, and I personally was very pleased with the candidate.
I was Robert Reed Nelson's name.
Yeah, only as a secret.
Can we do that? or-
Sure. So, Joseph Costa is the candidate, and as I mentioned, the board has gotten his resume and also met face-to-face with him on different occasions. Also, it's been several weeks. We've been discussing this on our what opportunity to follow up and that representation. Also, all appointments that the background checks, obviously,
Oh, no, I didn't know if that name was there around or stuff like that. I guess the board met with Mr. Costa last week, executive session, and I don't know the opportunity to this one, and I think he would be a good candidate for speaking. But I also think, that this is, vetting amongst the board or just among others as well. So that's just my comments, we need to connect with this guy.
I agree, I thought so. That's a very good candidate.
Trustee Black was not able to witness tonight. He was going to go on the weather, but he did call and look to make sure that he shares his comments with me, so that I can be able to do it. Very highly favorably of Mr. Costa, and wanted to express his support for him.
very much appreciate that. Other comments or? Okay, are we ready to vote on this tonight? We get consensus for that. Give it a vote on it tonight.
Yes, Mr. Castor, is Joseph Castor? His name's out there. Tell us about yourself.
Why don't you come up and introduce yourself to the board of public and say a few words?
Oh, yeah. So Joseph Costa, been living in Wauconda for 2 years now. My wife and 4 children and I just moved here from South Carolina 2 years ago. I worked for Granger in Vernon Hills, and so I moved this up. Been coaching football for 2 years since I've been here, pretty engaged in the community there. Love this town, and just want to do everything I can to make it be all it can be. So that's why I put my name out there. Any other questions? Or?
When I talk anything about financial experience and economic problem for your town,
In Malden?
Malden.
Yeah, so worked in with the city of Malden, South Carolina, on a committee that was part of the community, so it wasn't an appointed position, and that was to help economic development primarily in that city. So we worked to beautify an area to get some more businesses to come into that area, and so thinking that maybe some of the same process would apply here. I work for, as I said, Granger. I'm in the strategy department, so I work with executives of our company on developing strategy, helping that to become actionable within the organization. If you don't know who Granger is, about a $9 billion company worldwide in 26 countries. So I've been doing that ever since I've been up here for about 2 years. So born and raised in South Carolina, and we never thought we would leave for 2 years. And we actually had a conversation a few weeks ago about what if things changed in job status for those corporate offices. good thing. They feel home. People were more comfortable here than getting comfortable around. It's very good. We have no issues with it. It'll be a different perspective.
Very much appreciate that. Just briefly on the process too, I mean, Joseph became aware of this because we announced it in the letters message from the city that along with 15 others, and 5 others as well. And we screen those, and actually I did involve the former trustee members because of have their advice to me about that. So the final intent is to review and coordinate. And so we actually thought that this is a very effective process, and that's really what I always want to see from all of us. Is that we try to take the information available and make an executive informed choice. So we didn't actually know each other before this, and get to know each other, and I think all of us are getting to know each other. So I encourage you to do the same. Chairman, with the motion then to approve Joseph Foster as the next board of trustees. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Now that we can I have the voting on the item. And the motion that is well done.
Does the record also have to,
That was my question.
Self-question, definition of our emergency. What do you mean?
No.
It's within 130 days, but so there's going to be a 2-year post come up. So that's part of statutory. The limit statutory, the term.
So that would have to be.
Yes, I mean, you mentioned that more than how many years, how many 7 months, how many months, those rules apply. This is one of the things.
I understand that going on.
Campaign. I was the hand partner.
Right.
The under the fire.
Right.
Okay, we can understand that.
Only to the office of trustee. The village of Wauconda. Okay.
solemnly swear that I will support
Do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
and that I will faithfully discharge
And I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of trustee
the duties of the office of the trustee according to the best of my ability.
Item C then, renews the agreement with the village of Wauconda for public safety dispatch,
I do, thank you. There's no changes from that from 2 weeks ago. Providing an extension of the dispatch services agreement with Wauconda Village of Westmore for the police department to the end of April. And then it moves into what is called a month-to-month extension basis automatically, unless the termination was enacted by either party. So specifies what the rate is. That was adjusted 3% over the prior year's amount. That's broken down on a monthly basis. And then if this goes on to November of 2015, that would be extended again to 3% rate at that time. So we can move this forward because it's been their approval to be on board with this kind of deal.
Okay. Chair, for the motion to approve the item C, renewal of the agreement with Wauconda, village of Wauconda for public safety dispatch solutions.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Simpson.
Yes.
Trustee
Yes.
Trustee Smith. Yes. Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Okay, item D, staff request to first waive the bidding requirement for the purchase of installation of early warning signs, and then second for the awarding of the contract to Clean Kitchen Technologies LLC. Doug, do you have it?
Yes, this is something we spoke about 2 months ago. This past weather season, there was an instance where there was a real about lack of adequate emergency warning siren services out in the Jersey Lakes subdivision. We did investigate that. They confirmed that there was a unsatisfactory service level there. We also found out that there was some developer money on hand to the tune of about $15,000 towards that. This past year's budget that we approved, we took the $15,000 from the developer and supplemented that with $15,000 of our own to get the sirens implemented. So we've located the potential location here at the elevated storage tank on Gilmore Road. And I spoke with you before. I was asking if we could waive the bidding process so that we could keep the same vendor. It's servicing the rest of our equipment right now. At that time, we told you I'll get a couple more quotes to make sure they were in the ballpark. Of the 3 quotes we got, Communications Technologies, which is our preferred vendor, was the lowest. They came in at $28,000 and some change. And at this point, we would recommend approval of that. Getting bidding on this so we can have that in place for next year's storm season.
Comments or questions for the board?
I also want to ask the deputy chief to all, because he did a lot of field work to determine where we may address gaps in our system, and we found this to be the only place it's good that he really helped us out with that. So when do you think this construction is expected, and when are you going to be done?
I haven't had that discussion with the vendor yet, but I do not believe that this is weather dependent. So our goal is to have this in place for spring.
And about the locations that we have for the water towers, the more of the City Lakes, we already have it at Brown.
I was already there. My little person.
I would just like to have that resident, because between 4 hours. I love my food resident.
Berkeley Beach.
Okay, great. Then Chair will entertain a motion to approve item B for the establishment of road over the storage tank site and to award the contract for purchase of installation and energy warning sign to the Communications Technology LLC of $99,000 amount, not to exceed $20,200.
So moved.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Okay. Moving Davidson, for action. Item A is to request $3,600,918.85 to be levied against real estate in the village of Wauconda for 2015 tax year.
We wanted to welcome Trustee Oster tonight with the tax levy. This is really kicking off the start of the tax levy process. In Illinois, you have to file what is considered a formal request, which is what we're doing tonight. That begins the clock ticking before you can approve the ordinance of the tax levy. Typically, if you request more than a 5% increase, you have to have a public hearing and future taxation hearing on this. Our instance, we're asking for about 4.2%. We're not required to have a public hearing, but we're going to go ahead and have give the details here tonight. So, what we have done is we've put together, based on the information that we have from the county, the inflation factor for the year is 1.5%, which means that the tax caps for this year's tax levy process will be restricted to overall growth of 1.5%. That's exclusive of any new annexation or any growth in the village. So really, after you take into account any new building activity or any annexation in the village, the overall growth in the tax levy for the village is going to be somewhere between 1.5 and 2% for the year. What we've done is we spelled out on page 52 of your packet for you a line item breakdown of what that levy looks like. And what we've done is we've taken the police pension. It was asked for a 10% increase on the police pension. That is our budget. So we've asked for a 10% increase on that, and we've reduced the remainder of the tax levy adjustments down to fit within that 4.2% overall for the items that are subject to the tax cap. Now that 4.2% is going to be reduced sometime in March when the county clerk applies that tax cap. So again, it's going to come in about 1.5 to 2%. So that number will be reduced. The debt service has been approved by ordinance and filed with the county, so the debt service amounts get levied automatically. The numbers that we're looking at would be the $3.6 million at the top half of page 52, with the subtotal subject to tax cap. $3.656 million. That is the amount that we're asking for the request tonight. I've also put together on page 53 what I always use to kind of keep my my thoughts straight on this tax levy process. Tells you the different steps involved in this. You can see it's kind of a drawn out process. Where in November, our request gets discussed tonight on the 4th. The ordinance, we're going to have that scheduled to be considered on the first meeting in December. That'll be on December 2nd, I believe. That has to be filed with the county by the last Tuesday of the month. And then the county gets busy on applying that tax cap, and they'll come back with what our final levy request will be sometime in March or April. So it's a long, drawn-out process. This is the first step, and this is our request for the season.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
So, why is this switch back to always ask for, I know you mentioned police pension something, but we're asking for more than we received last year. Why is this
Well, in Illinois provide for tax caps, and they allow the property taxes to grow either at 5% or the rate of inflation is that. This year, that rate of inflation is 5%, which means the overall levy at our discretion can grow 1.5%. Our other obligations that are beyond our control, most of which are established by statutory control, such as pension, are doing much faster than 5%. So just to keep from losing as much ground as possible towards pension growth and that type of activity, we need to fully maximize that rate. So at 1.5%, we're losing ground towards the pension. But if we didn't weather that full amount, we'd lose it.
But that would also allow us to capture the new growth.
That's correct.
If you don't capture the new growth, you can tell the audience what happens.
It's gone forever. It's removed from your cap from all future years, and We haven't had a significant amount of growth this past year, but any growth that we've had or any growth that's been added to the assessments would go by the wayside, and we would not be able to tax that, or would not see the benefit of that growth.
One good thing, how does this compare historically? So 4.2% this year, how does that compare to previous years?
That's the request. The request is 4.2%. Again, that's going to be reduced when the tax on the county clerk applies the tax cap. That 4.2% is going to go down to about 1.5, between 1.5 and 2% overall. That's the amount that they were requesting over last year. With the growth rate of about 1.5 to 4.2% growth.
Then someone can motion then to approve the establishment of a request of $2,656,982 for assessment.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, action, another item, B for action, staff recommendation to approve the Michigan Resources Agreement with RHMG Engineers for the Lake Michigan Water Improvement System, phase 2 and 3.
Thank you, Mayor. During the financial feasibility analysis of the location of water, staff recommends that we look into and pursue IUPA state revolving loan for phase 2 and 3 of the internal water system. The IUPA has basically been managing this loan program since 1989. It's very stable. Staff feels it's an excellent funding source for using for local business. Basically, the loan program provides for 20-year simple interest loan repayment, and the interest rate is calculated as 0.5% of the bond market interest rate. So there's very favorable interest rate. I believe last year was nearly 2%. Our HMG has submitted a proposal to prepare the project plan and the application, the loan application for the IUPA revolving loan. The staff has reviewed the proposal and the agreement and find it acceptable. Therefore, we're recommending it to Mr. Ricketts and I to here answer any questions.
Questions in this?
Bill, how much work is involved with this? A lot of documentation.
Yes, there is. If you look in our proposal, we go through in detail and itemize everything that has to be included in first the project plan, which is essentially a report that justifies the need for the project. You have to compare alternatives. You have to do an environmental assessment, document the project doesn't have any negative environmental impact. There's a lot of, these are all specific criteria that have to be addressed with a checklist in order for a project plan to be approved. Then there's the loan application itself, and actually it appears we have to prepare two of them, one for phase 2 improvements and then the second one for the phase 3 improvements, because the final approval of the loan is only made after receipt of the actual bids for the construction. And as part of that loan application, there's a number of certifications and other documents that are required. So to answer your question, there's a lot of paperwork. It's like any other governmental grant or loan program. There's always a lot of strings attached to it, a lot of hoops you have to jump through. So it is quite a involved process.
How long is the process, the application process, and the notification for when you get it or not? Is there anything that we wouldn't be doing?
Right now, all indications from Illinois EPA is that they have more money than they can spend. As Brad explained, the program is in excellent fiscal shape right now because over the years have been making these loans and now these loans are being paid back and it's building up the fund. And there's plenty of money, so that because we'll get the loan, there's no question about that. And in terms of the time frame, probably about 3 months to put the project plan and the first application together. Then it'll be reviewed by IPA. They'll find something to ask for or clarification of, and then eventually they'll give us a conditional approval that will be subject to receipt of the bids.
So this will sync with that bid.
Yes, we'll be ahead of that. The loan application will be ahead of that.
Are these federal dollars that the state uses?
Well, the original money when the state revolving loan funds were first established in 1989, the original seed money was federal. And the states, in order to get that federal money, would have to match that somewhat. I don't know if there was a 50-50 match, but there was a certain match by the individual states. So the initial money is seed money. Over the years, that seed money, as the federal budget has had its challenges, the EPA budget, which comes out of it, has been reduced significantly over the last several years, and the money they've been pumping into this program has been reduced. But as I stated earlier, it's kind of self-sustaining now, so the seed money isn't as important as it was in the early years.
All the bonus being paid back.
Right.
Just quick clarification, if they have a beginning of every hour, then? When you say hours,
That's correct. Those are ours.
other comments, questions? Okay, and the public comment, do you have any public comment on this item? Yes?
Yeah, so these are, of March and April, these are for the internal improvements of this project. Now, for the main construction, work, there's another IDPA loan that can be worked on, and that's how does that work?
That's correct. The plan for that is that CLC Java will be applying for the loan for the external improvements for transmission mains, and so they will be going through this process, and that will be the same thing on a larger scale for the external improvements, which of course the village will be getting a share of those costs within those applications, but that will be done by CLC Java because they will own and operate the external.
One of the question is, so that loan with Java, now does that count against our debt limit?
Both of them.
They also.
Okay. Yes?
If you had a financial vehicle in place that gives you something to save you, you have a personal system in place, something that they would do.
Well, no, the loan is actually, the IEPA is the manager or the fiduciary for this particular loan opportunity, this program. So they're like the bank, if you will. And they're taking place of brokers and people that can buy our bonds. That's basically what this program does. That's what the opportunity for us is to save basically half of the interest rate in the same bond. The bonds around 4.5%. This is like 1.5%, 2%. So it's a better opportunity for us to fund it. And it's a funding option. So say, for example, you're going to buy something, you can use a credit card, which is a higher interest rate, or you could use maybe a home equity loan, which is like that.
Sure. The difference is this project plan that needs to be submitted to the IEPA is primarily an engineering document. It puts together engineering information for this project. This is not something the finance director will do. Might contribute to it. Right.
Quite better, you're referring to the 187 hours. That's good. Okay. Okay, other times almost, no? Okay. Okay, the chair will take a motion to approve, staff recommendation to approve engineering services agreement with RHMG engineers for reclamation and water internal system improvements, phase 1, 2, phase 2, and 3 IEPA project plan and loan application in the amount not to exceed $22,332. So moved. Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Item C1, ask for action, staff recommendation to approve the engineering services agreement with RSMG engineers for the design of the Lake Michigan Water Internal Improvements Phase 2 in the amount of $189,221.
Thanks, Ed. We are currently nearing the completion of phase 1 of our internal improvements. We're about 79% complete. We have some progression towards moving towards getting a system water push through to phase 2. We received engineering services from RSMG for the design of phase 2 of the internal improvements. Get a chance to look at it in depth. I feel based on the review internally with staff and myself, I feel comfortable moving it forward. And also with the favorable vote and CFP drawbacks, I feel comfortable moving to phase 2 of the design. Therefore, we're looking at an improvement for $189,000. Yeah, question was, of the 3 phases of the internal improvement, and we said phase 1, which of those 3 phases is the largest phase in terms of cost?
Well, we try to balance them. But phase 1 and phase 3 are about the same in terms of dollar. Phase 2 is a little bit smaller. Phase 1 and 2, refresh your memories, are the internal transmission main improvements, transmission system improvements. We will move the water around from the one receiving point throughout the village and maintain adequate pressures and flows, fire flows, particularly. And then phase 3 is the receiving station with the reservoir, producer pump station, and elevated storage tanks. Storage and pumping. That's part of phase 3. The last phase.
Comments from the crowd? Okay. President, motion to approve item C, staff recommendation to approve an engineering services agreement with RSMG engineers for the design of Lake Michigan Water Internal Improvements Phase 2, in the amount of $189,321. Second. Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Great. And so next item is for the mayor's report. I would first just like to welcome Joseph Proctor and appreciate your service to the community. Look forward to getting to know you a little better and look forward to working with you. Next item is we did receive, and I don't see it here a lot of times, but the group that is working with us, the Bank Lake Alliance, is working with the Bank Lake advisory group to manage the dredging of the Circle Channel, and they did receive the $10,000 grant that we applied for. So this is a public-private partnership. The village is going to be the fiduciary for this $10,000 grant if they're the ones helping managing the project. We did receive that $10,000 grant. In addition to the other grant, so we're in great shape for that. We also received from USAID, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the permit. So we're all ready to go, and we're going to start that in the coming months here. So we congratulate them, Ed Lockmeyer, John Lambert, and the Coach did a lot of work on this, and they've done a great job. So we really appreciate their service to the community. Our finance director selection is moving forward, so I believe next week our contractor is going to present some candidates. So we can look through that again and ask the finance committee to go through those and come forth with your advice and that for the week.
Would you like us to work with Doug to set up a time where?
That'd be great, yeah. Yes.
Would that have to be, would that have to be closed session?
For the interview, yes, you have to convene meetings and then go into closed session.
Right. So, I would have to refresh our memories precisely who's also done okay, well, Doug, you just get in touch with us with some possible dates.
On the agenda, that's what we maybe do. Okay, great, that's all I have. Appreciate your cooperation and community report for me. Trustee Knight, that's the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, welcome to the only other thing I have is, as the preacher mentioned, was a 2 weeks ago, we did, Administrator Max Sander, Director Fleet, Justice President, myself, along with, Tony Borger, Ms. Bowers, but Trustee Dallin, and we did the last year with the board. This has been for a while, so, another big, hurdle overcome, and we're moving forward. That's all I have. Thank you. Joseph, welcome. And we step forward to join. Couple of things. Brad, status of our road salt supply. What's going to happen with how much we can pay?
Yeah, this year the state contract price is more expensive. It was $138 a ton. Compared to last year, which was about $54 a ton. So considerable increase. Basically it's just supply and demand. They knew that last year a lot of people had exhausted their entire supplies, so they felt that it was a price. So we put in for 2,250 tons. We are obligated to put 80% of that, which comes out to about 2 tons. So best case scenario, we have a mild winter. We're on hopefully 1,800 tons. That'll contribute about $230,000. So pretty significant cost.
Where do we fund that from the MSP committee?
Correct. We used a lot. Our South Pole zone holds close to the about 25 cents.
Make sure you write that number down, because when we get to the rodeo, that's a question on test.
Did I say 25? Yeah. Yeah, we went through about all of it. We have some in reserve. We have enough to currently to fight about 5 fairly significant stories. But we place our facility to about 1,000 tons in it. That's the strategy on ordering more salt. I know the owner really got frozen over, and the canal system got frozen over, and couldn't get the salt up here, so we have to bucket with going across. We'd be looking at trying to fill that zone in a more rapid rate, so we'll be kind of facing the pressure. No, I mean, since we're on the hook for 1,800 tons, I'm going to get that in the take top.
Well, that's 80%, if it was 100%, the whole place, so we allowed to go over 100%.
Yeah, we can order money. Correct. This is
That's actually what the answer I got why the numbers are so high, because they have to burn $54 a ton to pay all the fuel costs and trucking it, whatever, and they still have to on the $54, not 220% contract, which a lot of people say. So that's why they're restricting it the law, that's
One more thing, we have a combined economic development with employment tonight. Director Miller did a fine job presenting several topics, which he'll bring back as far as practice work for the committee. We haven't set the December meeting. We will, I think, this current committee will probably have one more meeting in December before we move to the combined committee. Streamline committee.
what's the question here?
I also want to welcome Joseph to the team, there's a working with and questions for Administrator Maxwell and Dr. Will there be a timely onboarding package for
I'm tender on one thing the room.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I have is there will be a communications meeting next Tuesday, the 11th at 5:30.
Thank you. And Trustee Honeywell has to say.
All I have to say is welcome, Joseph. You should get to see next week tonight. Next week, that's all I have.
Thank you. And, your trustees, do you have any comments for this evening?
Just thank you to the board of trustees. It wasn't that difficult back in that room. But I think it is. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Chair will bring a motion to adjourn. Roll call.
No manager report? You did? I wasn't paying close attention to it. I'm sure because they very much. Huh? I wasn't paying attention. I was sleeping. I was too busy tweeting what was happening out there. All right, let's get out of here, guys. It's time to go see what's happening on election night.